So we are going to continue the relationship advice conversation today with Doris Fulgrab of Your Love Profiles. So Doris is going to explain Your Love Profiles, but I also want to just preface this with the fact that she has a longer session, a free session you can sign up for today that we're going to share after she talks in the chat. So it's a free session to sign up at 4 p.m. today. Hey, Doris, so thanks for joining us today.
Hello, good morning, everybody. So great to be here. Thank you again for having me. Can I just get a quick shout out to Nicole and Ashley and Kate for doing such an amazing job of organizing everything. I'm sure I speak for at least some of us that we'd rather be there at 501 Union with you than doing this online, but this is the next best thing. So what I thought I was going to do today, and I'm actually going to share my screen a little bit, just so that, you know, for the visual people to have something to look at as we talk. I'm going to tell you about how personality type saved my marriage and how that led to me creating a premarital prep program that I'm going to tell you more about in that webinar later, but maybe give you a little bit of information right now. And then invite you again to get that taste of how your personality type shows up in your marriage later on today. My name is Doris Fulgrab, and just quickly, in case we haven't met before, here's a little bit about me on the screen. And the story I want to tell you is about how personality type saved my marriage. So we're very different, my husband and I. You see a photo of our wedding there on the slide. He's from Spain, I'm from Germany. He's an introvert, I'm an extrovert. He's very logical and rational. I'm all about harmony and connection. We met in Barcelona in 2005. We moved in together after 3 months, and then we moved to Mexico within a year. There were some red flags, obviously, but we ignored them and we got married and everything was fine until about 3 years in, when we hit a very, very rough patch. Every conversation felt like we were speaking a different language. Every interaction was painful and we just couldn't get on the same page. So we were not connecting anymore at all, and we just couldn't find a way to bridge the gap. And believe me, we tried very many different things. So with the help of a therapist, eventually, we were able to come back together. And then it didn't occur to me until afterwards that all these differences that we were banging our heads against the wall about for years, personality type explains them literally in minutes. So I had known about type before. I've been a master practitioner of Myers-Briggs type indicator since 2008, but it had never occurred to me to put his and my type preferences next to each other on a page, really look at them and see, okay, so, you know, what is it that makes me behave the way I do and what makes him behave the way he does? We had to go through the drama and come out the other side to see ourselves more clearly. And since then, so for the last 10 years and counting, we've had small rough patches, but nothing as bad as it was 10 years ago. And type, we continue using the type insights, and they help us through the difficult conversations. And we get on the same page a lot quicker. Even when we moved across America, even when he lost his job, even when we were dealing with a health crisis, and even now that we're together 24/7 thanks to COVID and I'm a raging extrovert. So it took me 10 years, and I've been working with expat couples before. I haven't been working with, you know, personality type with couples. I use personality type in leadership development, but earlier this year, and after basically 10 years of talking to my friends about their relationships, I designed Your Love Profiles, which compares your and your partner's type preferences next to each other and focus on relationship issues. The process takes a couple of steps where I go individually with each partner through a self-discovery process to find out what their personality type is. This is not a questionnaire, although we can do it that way if you want to. We're looking at patterns, so it's a more holistic conversation. And I then custom prepare a report for your and your partner's preferences side by side We have a debrief session where we talk about the similarities and how the differences show up in your relationship. And then I've tested this before, pre-COVID. I've tested this with 6 established couples, and there's 2 of them on the screen there. All of them found it very helpful. They even asked for more, which is then why I decided to create a workbook and coaching sessions around the top 5 area to prepare for a healthy, happy marriage. And we're calling that Premarital Prep. These are a couple of images what your love profiles look like. You can download a free sample on my website there, and it's really overview pages for the relationship, and then type insights at a glance, and then we're drilling deeper into communication and needs and talents, decision making, and stress factors. So for the Premarital Prep program, these are a few pages. There is a workbook that has 63 of them. My course is different in that it is non-religious, it is non-dogmatic, and it is not therapy. This is custom made for your specific personality type pairing. And in the workbook, there's 5 chapters on communication, conflict, sex and intimacy, money, and then you build your future together, where you pull it all together and make a plan. You might be thinking, you already know your partner, you've probably lived together, like why even bother with premarital prep at all? Because when it comes to getting married, there's something about the commitment that you make that brings up questions in ways that you haven't thought about them before in general, or many couples haven't thought about them before in that way. So this is premarital preparation of any kind, counseling or this particular course, is a way to make sure that you really get to know each other, that you get on the same page, you learn strategies, how to bridge your differences. And basically, I wish I'd known about this when I got married. These statistics that you're seeing on the screen are from 2018. There's about 2.5 million marriages that happened in the United States that year, and almost half of the couples who got married then agreed to premarital counseling, and then 30% of that said it was actually a good use of their time. Even though there's obviously no foolproof guarantee for a happily ever after, premarital prep, in whatever form you decide to do it, really does give you the best shot to set your marriage up for success. Because I know we're here for wedding planning, thinking about the day of your union, but really what this is inviting you is to think about all the days that come after. And so, as promised, the invitation to the webinar is right here, and I believe Nicole is going to put it in the chat as well, because we only just met. I know this has been a lot of information, so I invite you to come hang out, learn a little more about it. I'm going to take you through a little quiz where you can figure out maybe what your personality type preferences are, what your partner's preferences are, and then we'll go through specifically issues around the wedding planning process of how you can already apply some of those strategies. And if there are any, let me stop sharing that now. If there are any questions, let's have them. How are we doing for time?
We're good, we're on time. But thank you, Doris. That was really, it is a process. So having people sign in and chat with you for a longer session will allow them to figure out how all the ins and outs of the quiz that they take first, right? And then the whole steps.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay.